So here I am relegated once to my small self. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how to take the final exam. So when taking an exam of any sort, a timed exam, the idea is that preparation is everything. And how do you prepare for an exam? First off, what you want to do is you want to have read the novel, right? You want to know some of the things that are going to be involved. And I've already told you a few things that are going to be involved. Number one, what is the exam going to be on? In this case, the book Annihilation, right? It's a novel, Annihilation, and there are going to be a few requirements, right? I'm going to expect an introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. There are some other things I'm going to require of you. I want you to use one direct quote from chapter 1 of the novel and another direct quote from chapter 5 of the novel. This tells you that you already have 2 out of the 3 direct quotes already in your pocket. So you need to highlight and decide what it is that you want to do. So, for example, you might want to do something that relates to this, right? Actually highlighting it, giving yourself a visual clue as to which kind of quote you want to use. So that way, when you write the exam, you don't have to come in and say, oh gosh, well, what was I going to write about? I'm very unsure. The next thing you want to think about is, even though the teacher hasn't given you the prompts, what was one of the things that I pointed out early on in this module? I said that there's four main ideas. I talked about freedom of choice, the uncanny, characterization, and adaptation and adaptability, right? So you can assume that the prompts are going to be on those subjects. Therefore, when you are writing your essay or preparing for it, what you want to do is you want to find quotes that relate to free will, something that relates to the uncanny, something that relates to the characters, and something that relates to adaptability or change or transformation, right? So those are the big 4 things. And if you've been paying attention to the lectures, I've also been saying something about choosing someone for Area X. So this may be another question or another prompt that I have for you. What if you were to be part of the Area X and you were like doing the human resources and you were the one that was trying to discover whether or not someone was fit for this expedition? What traits would be essential to that, right? This may be a question I ask you on the final exam. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but teachers usually won't tell you these things unless if we have some idea in mind, right? Okay, so that's mainly the preparation part. It requires rereading, it requires annotating, it requires preparing ideas in advance, and again, what we call anticipation, assuming what the teacher may ask you to write about. Okay, now let's talk about the day of. It is going to be a 24-hour space, right? Starting from midnight on Sunday to 11:59 p.m. also on Sunday. Because of that, you have a 24-hour time in between, but you're only going to get 2 hours, right? You get 2 hours to actually write the exam. What you want to do is you want to read the prompts in advance, and you want to take some time to actually look at them before you get started. And then you want to actually, when you do start writing, you can outline for about 15 to 20 minutes, right? If you're doing 2 hours, 2 hours is a lot of time. It may not seem like it when you're writing during that time, but take some time to write down some of your main ideas, right? Your 3 main ideas. Turn them into sentences, and these, of course, will be your topic sentences, right? Now, the next thing you need to do is, because you have 2 hours, is you need to think about, at least in 15 to 20 minutes, you should already have the introduction and in another 15 to 20 minutes you'll already have the conclusion. Therefore, you'll be spending the majority of your time working on the body paragraphs. And by body paragraphs, we're talking about the middle of your essay, right? You might have your topic sentences ready to go. So if you've spent 15 minutes on outlining, introduction, and conclusion, you already have 45 minutes over, right? You've completed 45 minutes, but you still have about an hour and a half to do 3 paragraphs. So that's roughly 40 minutes per body paragraph. That's a lot of time. And what you want to do is, if you already have, let's say, your quotes in mind, because remember, we talked about this earlier, right? If you already have your quotes in mind, I'm going to choose something from the Wild Boar event all the way down here. I'm going to choose something from down here. And notice I've highlighted it. You might not be able to see it easily, but I've highlighted it right here. So now that I already know that, I already have my quote. Now I need to do the re-quoting process. And so you want to at least be able to write 4 sentences after a quote. Anything less than that, and you're not going to get anything higher than a B. So again, when you are doing this exam, do not try to go backwards. Don't try to skip. Just try to go through it like a process, right? It's a process. And then once you do that on the day of the exam, you'll be doing much, much better. And then when you are done, if you have time to revise, take time to revise. If you do not have time to revise and you still don't have your 5 paragraphs, right? What you want to do is you want to start bullet pointing things. So for example, I'm going to show you here on the screen. I would talk about this. I would also talk about this in regards to freedom of choice. So, in doing so, you will still get points regardless of whether or not it's fragmentary or not. It's the ideas that count. Okay? And if you have any further questions, please let me know. Thank you. And good luck, everyone. Counting on you.